Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
My man Suave. What's happening?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we outside like concrete, handling business, turning corners, counting chicks.
Can I get your facial reaction for about 5 minutes while I drop some audio?
If you must.
Yeah, I must. On this day.
What type of audio is this?
Suave, do you trust your boy? Would I let you down in a recorded setting?
You would set me up in a recorded setting.
I would set you up, but I would not let you down.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Howard Stern.
But I played a clip of you this morning where you said some things about Hulk Hogan that were unbelievable to me. You really do not like the guy because, and let me see if I got this right. Hulk Hogan would come up to you at appearances and tell you you're the guy, you're the man, he loves you. You know, he showed a great deal of affection. And then he'd even say, give me a call, we'll get something going. Then you would call him and he wouldn't return your call. Is that the source of the argument?
You're absolutely right, Mr. Howard, because the men, all intelligent wrestling fans around the world, especially match of the arena, Madison Square Garden, New York and New York City, they know who was a champion before that, Hollywood Blonde Jabroni, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik. Right. So after I lost my belt to him, I'm getting so excited, I won't even stand up talk. And after I lost my belt to him, Mr. Howard, he come in the locker room. He said, Sheiky, baby, I love you. I owe you one. And after that, he never returned my call back. And another lie to me, he told me another lie. 2 months ago, I met him in the New Jersey. And he come, said, Sheiky, baby, I love you again. And he tell his jabroni puppet, he was my first manager, Jimmy Hart. And he tell Jimmy Hart, get the Sheiky number. We're going to use him for his show, reality show, whatever. Right. But I hope you have a little bit problem. He didn't call me again. That's the 2 times, Mr. Howard, he lied to me.
All right, so he lied to you. But here's the thing. I know you consider yourself a man's man, which you are. You're a manly guy. And you even call people. But then you said in this clip, you wanted to fuck his wife, Linda?
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Please, sorry about that.
You said you were going to fuck his wife, Linda. You're going to fuck his daughter. You're going to fuck him and his son. But that's gay.
Mr. Howard, that must be you misunderstand. I mean, I really don't hate him that much. Right. So I'd say I'm going to fuck the Linda or his son or his daughter, but must be somebody misunderstand. I'm a family man. He's a family man. That's a cheap heat. So I talk about his wife or her daughter.
That's right.
You're saying you didn't do it?
No, ma'am.
I have the tape of it. I played it today.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But must be with somebody else. But I mean,
for the Sheik?
Yeah,
Sheik, his son is underage. I don't think you can be having sex with him.
Well, absolutely not. Right. Sam is her daughter. Right. Sam is his wife, Linda.
Right.
And I have a good friendship with his wife and his daughter. But Robin, I never say anything bad about his wife or her daughter. Must be somebody misunderstand. But
let me understand.
I don't like Hulk Hogan himself.
Right.
But I'm a Shia Muslim. You know, all country, we don't talk about people, wife and a daughter.
But you did it.
Must be something was wrong, Mr. Howard.
You got all worked up, maybe.
Must be maybe I was not in my mind, or maybe.
Did you lose your mind and say you want to have sex with men?
No.
Why do you say you want to fuck Hulk Hogan himself?
Well, maybe I can do that himself, but not to his wife, not to his daughter. I mean, I'm gonna fuck him up differently. That means beat the fuck out of him and suplex him, put him in the camel clutch, break his back, and fuck his ass and make him humble. That's why I said it.
Right.
But besides that, I don't want to talk about his family. That's a chip in. You're another one I heard. You're going to be in my list sooner or late.
Shake. But you say you want to fuck Hogan in the air.
Sheiky, baby.
I know, but
that's enough.
Come on, bro. Howard Stern finna get us canceled. There's a really good chance that piece of audio we just listened to doesn't make it anywhere.
That is courtesy of Howard Stern's show from about 9-10 years ago. I don't know the exact date, but it's definitely from the Howard Stern show. I got to give credit where credit's due for educational purposes only. If you are listening to this or if you're watching this, we are recording this on Wednesday, June 7th. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I said year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
20 and 20. Tree.
Wiggle wee convenient, bring me your dinner bucket.
Let the church say.
Amen.
On this day, we lost a treasure, a national treasure.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I really, really strongly would say protect at all costs.
Predominantly known throughout his wrestling career as the Iron Sheik, has passed away north of the age of 80, which is a definite full life.
Factual.
That man, there was a time in my childhood when I look at certain people on TV and was genuinely in fear for my life from seeing some of the things that they did. Blade Runner Rock was one of those. Who else? John Nord, the Barbarian in Mid-South.
Oh, okay.
And specifically
you afraid of the Berserker?
Specifically in Mid-South.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. Lord Humongous. Pause.
Right.
Also specifically in Mid-South.
Okay.
There, but for during the time that the Iron Sheik was on everybody's TV up to 4 times in a weekend. Don't forget he was in a cartoon.
Rock and wrestling.
That man was easily the first heel, the first bad guy that I went out of my way to laugh for, because he was so charismatic and so emphatic in his hatred for the US of A. As you can see on the screen, the names of The Wood and The Suave the Burgundy is a tribute to the Iron Sheik.
Sheiky, baby. I hate that because of my age demographic, I didn't get to see in real time probably his greater contributions to the business as far as an in-ring perspective. When I see him and I'm actually able to digest what I'm watching, he's towards the end of his career. And then I get the Colonel Mustafa.
Yep.
Now I know who the Iron Sheik is because I watched that cartoon as a kid, but I didn't see the title reign in real time, or the transfer to Good Try Terry, or anything that predates that.
Let me ask you a question. Actually,
right.
I'm not gonna ask you a question. I want you to tell me,
okay,
an organization, a wrestling company in history, just randomly,
Oh, just any company. Period?
Any company in history that you revered to be as a great company. Just name one.
ECW.
ECW is probably the only place that the Iron Sheik did not show up. Give me another one.
World Class.
He was there.
Okay.
Give me another one.
Continental.
Yep. Wait a minute. Let me double check. Let me double check my history here.
Do your Google.
So the funny thing is, he said his first manager was Jimmy Hart. So it's very possible that he may have done a stint in Memphis for a brief moment in time, if that's the case. Because up until about 84, 85, Jimmy Hart was only in the mid-southern territory. Keep going. Give me another one.
Another wrestling company. I know for a fact he was in the NWA, so there's no point in me saying that one.
Not just the NWA. Jim Crockett, Georgia Championship Wrestling from Florida.
Smoky Mountain.
It wasn't in Smoky Mountain. Guess where he started?
Portland.
Might as well had. AWA. He was in Minnesota.
Well, shit.
Yeah,
different region, but yeah.
Yeah, same cast of characters, different region. Yeah, I mean, AWA, WWF, Crockett, Mid-South, Florida, Georgia Championship, back to WWF. And then of course we can't forget he was probably one of the first people to break kayfabe in the news, as he and Jim Duggan got pulled over.
That's an episode of Dark Side of the Ring waiting to happen.
True.
Duggan and Sheiky baby getting pulled over together doing coke is like, that story's gonna live forever. Facts. And 100% facts.
And a self-professed crackhead. A self-professed recreational crackhead.
There is no such thing as recreational crack use.
World Wrestling Council. So he was in Puerto Rico getting live.
Of course. Who doesn't go to Puerto Rico and get live?
And of course he was in WCW briefly. Even went to UWF International for a bit. But to the newer generation and the casual fan, Sheiky Baby is a professional wrestler who's not known for professional wrestling more so than he is his social media prowess.
Fam, you already know how we feel about casual fans. Do you know, like, no, dead serious. Do you know that online in the comment section where all logic goes to die, there has been a groundswell in the use of the word casual, and they used it in a similar context to the way we've been using it the entire lifespan of this show,
which is like now in our 6th year.
You know what I'm saying? When someone says something that's like, it's not important, or it's what's the phrase I'm looking for? When relevant. They say something, yeah, it's not relevant, or it's an uninformed opinion. The response is like, you must be a casual. or you just say so, you're regurgitating something you saw or heard on sports talk radio or something from ESPN, and
so they're no longer adjectives, they're now nouns.
Right.
Fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, like you must be you must be a casual, or thanks for letting me know you're a casual. It's like all that type of stuff. So yeah, we influence the culture one way or the other. I mean,
man, listen, Sheik was so heavy on social media with being in tune to what's going on now that when
Sheik might have had social media popping before Matt Hardy did.
No. Remember Matt Hardy, when he got fired from WWE, his whole resurgence was due to social media.
Yeah, that's 2005, 2006. So in the Sheik documentary, he gets online. We got to see exactly when that date is, but like He broke loose on YouTube.
Ah, that's right. It was YouTube.
Then
That's
went to
right.
Twitter.
That's right.
So
Yeah, because Twitter didn't pop in 2008, 2009 anyway. But this morning when I got the news, shouts out to Big Brother Jake, Dave House, aka Dave Manson. I know he's gonna be listening to this and watching this because that's his guy. When he first came over from the UK, this WWF and WWF was his wheelhouse. So I know he's gonna be paying attention to this. The first thing I did was go to Twitter, not to find out if he passed away, to find out when the last time he said "fuck Hulk Hogan."
Was it less than 24 hours?
48.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Stay true to the game plan. If that's what we own, that's what we own. All day, every day.
Literally to the death.
Literally to the casket drop. I'm
with it. Do this in real time, Suave. Get on Twitter, get on Iron Sheik's Twitter, and look at the last 2 to 3 tweets that he posted. He actually did one, I want to say it was either yesterday or late Monday night.
All right, pulling up the Sheik tweets. Let's see. It's kind of weird that, you know, the Sheik's account is retweeting the announcement of his passing.
That's morbid. that's just wrong.
Pivotal role. Respect the legend forever. Who's this about? Oh, 12 hours ago.
Keep going.
The wildfires.
That's it. That's one of them.
Whoever let the dogs out can go fuck yourself. The top 10 finishers is a jabroni list without the camel clutch. Fuck true love.
That man is a gem.
Facts. Fuck, and I cannot stress this enough, the Monday. Fuck the rhythm and the rhyme.
And the rhyme.
2 days ago. So fuck Hogan. Yes. Love it.
Yeah. So without saying, this show is dedicated to the life and times and the memory of one Hussein Khosrow Ali Vaziri, aka the Iron Sheik, aka Colonel Mustafa.
Sheiky baby.
10 bell salute to end the show. I would have started with it, but I figured the Stern clip that it's rightful. That man was I mean, you say dark side, and sure that the Duggan situation is a dark side episode. And he probably would have had a dark side episode if it wasn't for the amount of documentaries that are already out about him, detailing his life in totality. And which is why
I was like, that story would be an episode because it's isolated.
Yep.
Versus like we of course, because we dig in the crates and we watch different stuff. So we've seen the Vice documentary on the Sheik.
You turned me on to the Amazon joint, which is amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen our fair share of Sheik content, so we up on it.
Yep.
And it explains a whole lot, like how he got into like basically social media, like resurrected his whole situation.
Yep.
It made him relevant all over again, which is very cool to know how that happened and who helps him out with it. And then you get to see he's very honest in all of the documentaries we've seen. He's extremely honest. He takes responsibility for what he's done or hasn't done. And it makes it a lot more enjoyable to have somebody who's not trying to, rearrange the narrative.
Even though he broke kayfabe by telling us his story, he died with the gimmick. How often do we see that these days, especially with him being in the 80s?
Almost never, but like they're cut from a different cloth.
Different, man. It's different.
You realize, okay, even though Sheiky Baby's claim to fame, well, not his claim to fame, but his go-to line is "fuck Hulk Hogan." Hogan got into the business at a time where shit was way different. He got his leg broke just because they were trying to figure out whether or not he was dedicated to the cause. So it's like cut from a different cloth. completely different set of rules to get in. It's just like with us in hip hop, like the path or the road to get in now is way different than what I experienced.
I can't do the same things I did 20, 25 years ago to start now and expect to be noticed.
Which to a degree is my experience may even be different than yours.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure it is.
Yeah, because just simply because I started in an era where the internet was a thing that you could manipulate if you were smart enough.
I would say around the time that I started seeing it as lucrative from a financial standpoint, I was already in tune with the internet and navigating through. In fact, shouts out to my guy Shaka, Nosy News. Before new social media had a name, it was called New Media, and before email blast was a thing, it was known as New Media Marketing. And I was one of the front runners and trendsetters in that space from my relationships I had. Shouts out to Headcrack from doing record promotions with him, and when he was, in his label days before, hopping into radio.
But I'm also 100% certain you had time served before we even got to that era.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
So yeah, like I'm still a minor at the time, but yeah, like actually having to drive around and put posters up,
sniping.
Having to have stickers and putting them on telephone poles.
Sniping.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have put in work in that particular area, so I have a knowledge of it, understanding and appreciation for what it does. But yeah, like they broke in at a different time where the requirements were different. Like you had to carry this as a code of honor, and there were certain shit you just couldn't get away with doing.
I mean, there were people that you just like, there were names that if you crossed these people, something was going to happen. Names like Murdoch, names like Roop, like Bob Roop, Schultz. Bob Roop's resume online for the things that he did in training is legendary. If you don't know what I'm talking about, find Bob Roop and take a look. And he was a legit tough guy, legit badass.
Which then it feeds into the era of like Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Terry Gordy.
Even if you really want to go there, Oli and Vern.
Oli and
Vern, one of the worst.
Even though we don't fuck with this guy and his views on life and certain people, Bill Watts, same thing. With Mid-South, he was like, if you were a wrestler that got into a fight and you lost, you were fired.
You're fired.
It's over with.
Yes, it. Yep.
Finito. You got to find a whole new territory. You out of here. So like, if somebody try you in public, you got two options: leave or leave them on the floor. Somebody
is walking away without a job. If y'all get into it and y'all can't squash this gentleman, and the word gets back, somebody was going without a job. That's the era that she came through. In fact, let me take a look, because I'm interested to see what time he was actually in Mid-South. 81 to 82. It was a short run. It was one of those. So a lot of times when you had a name come through a territory, it was usually for like either a quick program or 90 to 120 day stay,
and possibly a spot show. Like you just needed something. You needed something big on the card so you could fill out the venue.
And then they usually would trade talent, and so it looks like
the old school Forbidden Door.
It was Forbidden Door for the younger viewer, the younger listener. When local television would show a particular promotion, if that promotion wasn't home based in the city that you were watching it in, chances are what you're watching was 2 to 3 weeks old.
Easy.
And if that were the case, you would probably see a star on program A through promotion A and then right behind it, see the same star in a different promotion right behind it on program B. It was nothing to see somebody like Iceman King Parsons in Mid-South and then show up on World Class. It was nothing to see people like Butch Reed do the same thing. Von Erich. It's nothing to see the a loser leaves town match with like the Guerreros and then have them show up on like AWA the next week or the same week on your TV. It was nothing. And to add to that, like, let's see here, 1979 to 1980 WWF. April 1980, Mid-Atlantic. Up until he leaves August of 81.
You gotta go get the bag.
September of 81, Mid-South in Louisiana. Until January of 82. January of 82, Championship Wrestling from Florida until February of 82. July of 82, Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid-South, briefly October of 82. While still in Georgia, in May of 83, the NWA National Television Championship. Like, when you're popular and you're a viable talent, like, you're going to get your work in that era. And he was one of the, man, just
Siri, play Tupac's I Get Around.
Shouts out Bun B. DU. Ain't no party like a DU party because the DU party don't stop. Yeah, boy. One of my favorite times on the road with Digital Underground. Man, I can't wait to see them boys again. At any rate, I digress. Sheiky baby, man. Wow.
So we were talking about territories and how things used to go back when. So apparently Stamford is in the midst of reinstating some of that type of behavior because now I believe Nick Khan did an interview recently and spoke to the idea that WWE will book a venue, and part of their booking that venue is there can be no wrestling 6 weeks before or 6 weeks after.
So
tell me how you feel about this, because like when you first read this, you had a reaction to it.
It's petty as shit.
Oh, I mean, it is, but it's also good business.
Definitely that. It's definitely good business. What entrepreneur would want somebody hustling on the same block as them at the same time? We saw it ad nauseum about 2 years ago when we went back. Was it 2 years ago we went back outside?
Technically, yeah.
Kind of. When AEW and WWE went back on the road, they were in, I think, 3 different markets within days of each other.
See, that's a little different. Being in those markets and basically doing them within 3 days of each other, that's because public gathering was not a thing everywhere. When WWE got back on the road, they came to Texas for a specific reason, because Texas was opening the gates.
Same thing with New York, New Jersey, and Chicago.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those areas were opening the floodgates. So yeah, you were gonna go there, and there's only so many venues you can book if you're all going to the same city.
Now that makes all the sense in the world, but you and I look at things pragmatically, but a lot of times not in the moment, right? So like, as a wrestling fan and connoisseur of this fine sport that we so grow up to love and actually talk about on a weekly basis,
and business and inner workings, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I can't help but think, like, forget the fact that we were in the middle of a global pandemic. I just see the block. I see the block getting stepped on. That's like you can't. The kid in me is like, why is this happening? It's never happened before. Why is the E running in Nassau, and then here comes AEW running the next week in Nassau? Is this a pissing match to see who's going to get the biggest crowd? Because at the time,
was the only game in town.
Right. So looking back at it like that, yeah, for sure. Only game in town. Only way you're going to be able to do business. Only way people are going to be able to make money.
It was the only court you could get a game on.
Now, on the flip,
you couldn't hoop nowhere else, so everybody had to go here.
On the flip side,
right?
Let's look at WrestleMania 40
in Philadelphia.
That's going to be in was it Link? What's the name of that damn ugly ass stadium?
Some condemned ass building. It's some condemned building they finna put all of this in and make us watch.
Lincoln Financial Jail Cell and Bail Bonds Commissary Stadium.com, whatever the hell it is.
And cheesesteaks.
and cheesesteaks. And water ice. Man, you know about the water ices, boy. You better treat yourself. But then, like, I don't. Is it? Are they playing in the Spectrum? I mean, I know, like, of course, the old one is no longer. But did they reopen the Spectrum or rebrand the Spectrum, or is it like one of those sponsored buildings now?
I have no clue. I tried not to keep up.
No one gives a shit about Philadelphia but Philadelphia.
That's it. That is it. That's it. I've gotten some quality rap music out of Philadelphia, some good neo soul. That's about it.
I'm gonna give you two.
Allen Iverson highlights. That's it.
I'm about to say here's an EP of good shit that you got from Philadelphia. Allen Iverson, and in the same breath, I'm gonna say Dr. J. So that's one.
I take it.
Okay.
Were you gonna go Charles Barkley too, or y'all still beefing?
Fuck Chuck.
Come on.
Nah, on the real, Chuck said some really fly shit last week. He back in my good graces now.
Well, thank God. Hit the applause for that, because y'all been at it like Peter Griffin and the chicken. Just on-site beef for years.
Growth. She was at the growth.
Boys.
Yeah, him still going up in weight, me going down. But whatever. Hey, it was growth still.
I mean, get your green vegetables in, protein and greens, baby.
So we got Allen Iverson, Dr. J, Charles Barkley.
Okay, I'll take those three.
All right, that's a unit. The Roots, definitely the Roots.
Jill Scott.
The Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, Jill Scott.
Rocky movies?
Bro, have you seen Creed 3?
I have. I just saw it.
If you saw Creed 3, you don't even have to question that. Rocky goes. A fictional character has a statue. And he's from New York. That's good. Good.
What else is Philadelphia giving this? Oh, ECW.
Wait, no. Cheesesteaks. And last but certainly not least, the 2300 Arena. AKA the home of ECW.
See, I don't know if I want to give that love to the arena or to the company itself that operated there.
The arena doesn't happen in this form without ECW. Absolutely. But it's because we're on topic here. That's the reason I bring up the arena before I bring up the company, but they're in the same breath.
Okay.
NXT. Does NXT run in 2300?
What do you mean by that?
So WrestleMania weekend, NXT always does a takeover.
Oh, probably not.
Okay. Where do the 76ers play? Wells Fargo Center. Okay. So I guess the Wells Fargo Center will be the equivalent of the Spectrum. Yeah, and so
there is no way possible they go into 2300. Now, maybe some other company during WrestleMania week, because every other possible functioning wrestling company does something in the host city for WrestleMania.
It's a wrestling reunion. Oh, I know who runs 2300. Ring of Honor.
You got Ring of Honor, you got MLW, you got Impact that could do it. You got GCW that might try it. Actually, you could end up with
you may have multiple shows in one day, but I think for what is it, Super Card of Honor at 2300 Arena is probably gonna be their best option. But nobody else is gonna be running the Wells Fargo. You can hang that shit up.
No, because that caveat's in place, and I would honestly say that Ring of Honor or just Tony Khan in general should have that same approach about the 2300. Like, book that shit now, and look, no wrestling 6 weeks before, no wrestling 6 weeks after.
That's gonna kill GCW.
So.
So
our money ain't in it. Our money don't go to the same account. So unless we finna do some shit that we have some shared money, I don't give a damn what venue you run or how you feel about me running this or how many weeks you gonna have to wait. You just ain't finna get in with I'm here.
So does no wrestling mean absolutely zero?
Absolutely zero.
If a nickel bag gets sold in the corner, I want in.
That you want shit to go one way, but it's the other way. My name is my name.
See, yours goes ding 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 ding.
Mine goes ding 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 ding. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah, bullshit. 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 Shout out to the kid in the car seat.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah. Not finna do this with you. Like, look, nah. We gonna be after this. Ain't gonna be no more rapping tonight. Period. You kill potential buzz, and this is the reason you do it. 6 weeks before, if you have a concentrated group of people that are wrestling fans, regardless of how much expendable income they may or may not have, chances are they're not doing two big events within a month and a half of each other. Just not how people typically function when it's like when you're looking at family options. Like, you're not going to take the entire family, get good seats to this event, and then try to do that whole parade again in essentially a month from then, a month and a half from that time.
Yeah.
Because you gotta buy tickets too. So It's like those expenditures are probably be about a month separated.
Or do you have to buy tickets? From what from the faux pas we've seen on TV.
If you don't have to buy tickets, then chances are this is going to be a last minute decision, meaning you probably don't have the same list of responsibilities that maybe a family man might have. Like, you have a girlfriend or a wife or a significant other, and you can either go with them or you can fly solo. In that respect, you can pull up for this event, pull up for that event, run around here, run around there. Or if you just happen to be like us, and have a full-fledged show that's out here doing, we getting that snowball effect. Yeah, we'll pull up for a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we'll go rep for Sweat Hog Nation. And
Shout out Snow.
You know what I'm saying? Then we'll turn around and we'll hit, Super Card of Honor, and then we'll turn around and hit whatever the WWE show is that's coming through. Like, because we're working, these are tax write-offs that we're doing.
Yeah.
Every time we buy seats, that's a deductible.
I would say the more the freer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, look, I'm finna have to gas you up. No, I don't even have to gas you up anymore for us to start really dropping out on front row seats just because.
Yo, so sidebar.
I need the deductions.
The renovation for stadiums is coming up. Not just renovations, but also the bonds are coming up to build in certain markets. Oakland not being one of them, unfortunately. But Nashville.
10-3-5-7.
Nashville has been stated or slated to get a new stadium possibly around 2026, and WrestleMania wants to throw its name in the hat for either around that time or 2027.
Of course, anytime there's a new stadium that goes up, Stanford is going to make sure they go slide through there quickly. And one of the main reasons, maybe not the reason, is because you're going to set their attendance record for them.
Boy,
every time.
That's going to be the bar, straight up.
Like,
the only thing that threatens that is a soccer tournament. Specifically, the World Cup.
So technically, like when they did 103 at 32,
yep.
Here in DFW, when we get the World Cup, that's
we just had a football. You said we got 32 at
we had 32. We broke 103,000.
103,000. Yep.
Or according to their numbers, it was 103,000. But we had the World Cup coming here soon
with renovation and expansion, because the stadium as it sits right now, I think can hold I want to say 108, and they're trying to add another 3,000 to 5,000 seats to get it ready for the World Cup.
You can get 110. Like for World Cup, every available ticket will be sold.
SRO is probably going to, because even I think the All-Star game. Let's pull up some numbers on that. 2009 NBA All-Star game.
Was that 2009?
Yes, sir.
Damn it, boy.
Well, no. 2009 was in Phoenix, so that had to be 2010.
I thought that was either 10 or 11.
11 was the Super Bowl. Both of them were iced out.
There you go.
The 2010 NBA All-Star game, Cowboy Stadium. Let's look at the attendance. That was before the sponsorship happened. Let's see here. 2010 All-Star game attendance. Survey says 108,713.
Excuse me?
Wait, no, it's Ford Field. Wait a minute.
I was gonna say, like, nah, fam. Nah.
Yeah, that's it.
108,000 in Cowboy Stadium.
Yep. Now that makes sense.
Game.
That makes sense because naturally you don't have a 100-yard field.
I mean, but was that capacity or is that attendance?
That's the attendance.
That's crazy.
Not really when you think about it, because the end zones and and probably about the first 20 yards on either side were seats.
No, what I'm saying is it's crazy because typically for an all-star game, you're in an arena. Mm-hmm. So the cap is roughly what, 20 to 25,000, depending on city and the modernness of the arena.
The only exception to that rule would have been in San Antonio at that time because of the Hemisphere and then the Alamo Dome.
Right. Because, even with the Alamo Dome is what, 70 max?
70, yeah.
So you damn near, you got close to lapping that.
Yep.
Come on, fam.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
At any rate,
we get it. I guarantee. I'm almost willing to go out on a limb and say we get another WrestleMania before 2030.
Oh, I'd be willing to drop a leg on that one. Let me see here. Probably
that's what he told her. I might be ready to drop a leg
because New Orleans got 2 and 5 years. It took us 6 years to get a repeat.
Because it took us 32 to get the first one.
Yep.
Damn it, boy.
Cold lick, shawty.
Cold lick.
Let's see. So I would probably venture to say 44 or 45 is probably going to be back here.
I can see it. Question. You think they go international before we get to 20?
Okay. Not only, I was going to do a mixtape of this one simply because of the conversation.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be some shit? Now, this is going to be the most expensive one if they do this, but wouldn't it be some shit if WWE decided to run the Egg Dome?
Look,
I don't think it ever happened, but
every time I brought up Stanford going to Japan, I would get all this blowback about how they can't do anything in Japan. They can't do, like, they have relationships in Japan. If they wanted to do something in Japan, they would, because they did what's the equivalent of like a televised house show in Japan. It was a
with
smaller
classic
venue.
matches that will never hit TV.
Facts. The thing you have to worry about in booking Japan and booking the Egg Dome is exactly what we've been talking about. Can you make it to where there is no wrestling in that building at least 6 weeks before and at least 6 weeks after?
Let me knock this out the park right now.
So I'd be willing to say maybe I would say Mexico. I would say
hold on. So let's do another EP.
All right, come on.
How many want to go? 5?
We better than that. Well, what's the EP before I say that?
International cities, international host for WrestleMania.
We can get at least 8. We can get a Super 8. I'm almost certain we can.
All right, get Super 8. Super 8.
Super 8 it is.
You go first.
Mexico.
Put it in Wembley.
Where do I want to go next? Australia.
Sydney was going to be my choice on that too. I tell you a fun one for everybody. Rio.
Ooh. Canada.
Where though?
I mean, they've been to Toronto already. They could go back and do Toronto again.
They could definitely stand to go back to Toronto soon.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not as familiar with the stadium situation in Canada, but definitely Canada.
So I would love to say Montreal, but because of its highly French influence, Toronto will probably be the easier choice. Also a reason why I don't think Japan would be on that list.
Puerto Rico's after Backlash, Puerto Rico's definitely on that.
Puerto Rico, man. Ooh, that's a good one. How about are we still over in Germany? The U.S. Army? We saw bases in Germany, right?
I think, but I'd have to Google that or ask one of my connects.
I think a USO WrestleMania would be fire in Germany.
I can see
all these tributes to the troops. Why not give them the ultimate spectacle?
I hate to backdoor your entry with this one, but I mean, this is almost a foregone conclusion. Saudi's getting a WrestleMania. Saudi Arabia's getting a WrestleMania. I don't care what you can say, whatever you want to. They're getting a WrestleMania, and it'll be after that project that they have going on right now. Once that's finished, they're getting a WrestleMania. Period.
So far we have Wembley, we have Saudi, we have Sydney, we have Toronto, we have Mexico City, we have Rio.
5. That's 6.
Cardiff,
Wales should have been on the list off top because they already did 70K there for a PLE. So
close enough to the UK. You could probably do it in 3 years, like a 3-year stretch. Give it a break and then go back in 3 years. I like Cardiff. We can go, but honestly, I would rather see a Clash at the Castle every year than see a WrestleMania there.
I'm more than fine with that. I don't have to have it be a WrestleMania. It's just somewhere that we know they can pull fans. If you can do 70 or more, chances are you got it. Puerto Rico opened the door on international, and now Money in the Bank is going to be like the 3rd litmus test in less than 12 months.
The O2.
You know what I'm saying? And I know the O2 gonna be lit, and I know
They always are. They always are. Ooh, Suave. You know what that means?
What that mean?
Saturday afternoon wrestling, dog.
See, now that may be the only reason that you don't get a WrestleMania in Saudi is because nobody wants to watch WrestleMania that early in the day. At least I don't.
Shit, we watched the Olympics.
I have the option of going back to watch the Olympics whenever I want to because of the cock pause.
Yo,
I don't have to watch the Olympics in real time, and that's usually something that only takes place with the summer games.
Sidebar: did you see the somebody posted a tweet that said HBO Max is now Max, Peacock, it's on you.
I did see that, and I'm just like, I mean, we brand look yet again. We contribute to the culture. So
whether you like it or not, we in here. Radio waves invade in more ways than one.
Whether you like it or not,
we need one more.
I mean, look, Japan just has to be the outlier, but I don't see why Japan wouldn't work. The only way I feel like it wouldn't work is if the Japanese government was like, we don't want all these people that don't live here to be here because you got germs and shit.
Yeah, because I ran into a few people that went to Wrestle Kingdom back in, I want to say it was 2016 or 2017.
See, that's on the to-do list for us. Like, I do want to hit a Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
just to experience it.
Yeah,
and a Triple Mania.
They all came back with T-shirts. Triple A, Triple Mania.
Triple A.
Why do I sound like the kid of the Triple A?
Because you watched Dark Side of the Ring and saw Nikita and his stuff.
Speaking of, a good segue, man, Magnum TA. Golly, what a story, bro.
Maggie
TA. To hear that from Magnum's perspective, I think that was the first time I had heard him tell his story. I've heard other people tell it, but I've never heard him actually tell his story. That was some riveting shit.
It's a story that needed to be told. Like, when you don't whore certain things out, it makes it that much more impactful when you do it correctly.
And Magnum TA made our best than ever.
He did.
He went pretty far. I think he made it to the semis, right?
He got close. He got damn close. I don't remember who he ran into. I don't know if it was Jake Roberts or he ran into Scott Hall.
So so we had a triple threat for the finals, and it was, I know Jake Roberts and Scott Hall were both in it. Was Magnum TA the other one?
It's possible because a
lot of the things that he said or that was said in the Dark Side episode, you actually said in that tournament, damn near verbatim.
Because we know what we're talking about over here. Hey, you mean, bruh?
And that tournament was over a year ago when we did that, man. Wow.
We don't just be out here just blowing smoke and pretending like, you know, we're not pretending to be a house of learned doctors. We paying the rent and mortgage.
That's what happens when we on a wait, the hell? When we on a
whole lot of fucking gang shit. And we don't deal with accusations.
That's one thing we don't deal with.
We don't deal or put up with accusations, and most definitely not false accusations.
Thank you, Rose.
Tell them, Ross.
Let's get back on
but just so everybody knows, that's not a new thing about, you know, booking a venue and putting time constraints on who can book that venue before and after. Like, it goes back to the territory days of wrestling. Hell, concerts do it now. Like, because it just makes sense. Like, if you have a big show coming to that venue and somebody runs that venue a week before, you've because you're dealing with audiophiles and concert goers and people who want to be in the mix, you've eaten up all of the real estate. And you'll probably end up shorting the show because people decide, okay, I can't make this one because of this activity. Let me go to this show.
Concerts are a little bit different ball game, because as opposed to putting stipulations on the venue or who can't run where, these motherfuckers bought the buildings. House of Blues was looking at you.
You feel me? Okay, ain't nobody running AT&T Stadium within a month before, a month after Beyonce. You're just not.
I mean, first
you're not going to be able to.
Chances are, if you can afford a Beyonce ticket, the next show that comes through, you can afford it too.
You can, but you not. Imagine having tickets for Beyonce and then pick the next biggest artist.
What's my man? What's the country singer? Garth Brooks. He's performing there this year, right?
Right.
Let's see here at AT&T Stadium. Let's take a look here. July 30th. And okay. Let's see here. Now we're going to look at the AT&T Stadium schedule.
Artists of the same genre, you're just not going to get. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like you're not going to get Reba McEntire at AT&T Stadium a month after Garth Brooks.
You're not, because you stepping on the pack one way or the other.
Yeah, in fact, they'll probably go so left it may be like a Posty Fest or some shit right after that.
You feel me?
I mean,
50 and Busta Rhymes will be here soon.
The wildest shit I've seen was monster trucks one week and motocross the next.
That might be as close as you can get.
But it's understandable because all you have to do is move the dirt around. You don't have to remove the dirt. So that makes more sense. And
then some of those may be in a situation where they're trying to piggyback each other. Like, okay, cool, we got them all here for monster trucks. While we have them here, let's tell them that motocross is coming the next week. Like, oh, we ain't doing shit. Pull up.
All right.
Different situation.
Here's your point proven right here. August the 18th, Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
September 21st, The Hive.
How much? About a month.
Little over.
A little over a month.
But you know what the only other events listed at the present time are? After that?
What's that?
Games. The next concert's not even listed until March of 2024.
Because for a stretch of months, you can't get in that venue anyway.
Because for a phenomenal fee,
soon to be
a more phenomenal fee,
Jerry is going to be doing what Jerry does. Period.
Baggington Securitas.
That's it. That's all he knows.
Yo,
but it's good that we're able to educate the listeners and the viewers and just kind of give a perspective on why. Because I know some people may have read or heard that story with Nick Khan and they think, oh, Stanford's being assholes again. Like, no, that's just good business.
They are, but it's also good business because
they're being petty by mentioning AEW by name, but that's the only other company with the type of money to book the same venue.
You would do it too. If given the opportunity,
Facts.
You would do it too. That's all. That's petty. All that it can be petty. All it wants to be doesn't make it any less viable for you.
Sometimes the petty thing to do is also the right thing to do.
Two things can be true.
Facts.
Bloodline.
Gang.
What's his word?
A whole lot of fucking gang shit.
What's his word association?
You know what? We should actually start playing that word association, pro wrestling word. Yeah, broken pencil word association. That's actually, you know what? I like that.
Give me a few. Give me a few. Let me see how well I do.
Elbow.
That's there. You understand?
Jesus. Steel chair.
Tony Schiavone.
What's another good one? Manager.
Jimmy Hart. And the only reason I said his name first is because we mentioned him earlier.
Gotcha. Fireball. I almost went Sheiky, baby. I'm a dangerous man.
I almost went Sheiky, baby.
I'm a dangerous man.
I will defer.
Bruh.
No, almost said fuck you, Jericho.
He's not. He just started throwing fireballs.
No, the first name that came to mind was Lawler, but I almost said fuck you, Jericho when you did that.
Lawler would have been the correct answer, or Ultimate Warrior from Halloween Havoc '98.
Oh no.
A good try. No. Terry gave a good try to some flash paper, and it did not work.
That whole reuniting with Sting did not go well at all. There was not one semblance or resemblance of the Blade Runners whatsoever, or Power Team USA.
I'm glad he didn't get a whole lot on him. It wasn't gonna work, bro. Like, Sting went on to do some stuff the right way and cashed out. It just wasn't. It's one of those things, like when we sit around and kick like fantasy booking, you think that's something you want until you actually get it. And it's like,
Bro, do you realize that Sting's wrestling career started in 1984, 1985, and he probably had the most fun in his career doing the least amount of work from 1996 till 2015? What a stretch. What a damn stretch.
Well, that Sting, it's almost like, Kobe has two separate careers, one wearing 8, one wearing 24.
Pro Kobe, you cannot forget Kobe with Adidas, Kobe with Nike. Pro Kobe is you can put them both on 2K across the court from each other and battle it out.
These are facts. But there's definitely like two careers with that. Definitely.
Yeah. Bloodline. You said gang.
I did.
They are, but the mushing of the face from Jimmy Uso, golden. The spike from Solo, hard. I don't know what it's going to take for WWE to be nominated for Emmys. That's another one for the Bloodline. That's another win for the Bloodline. And then the fact that we have interest from I guess we'll call them a third party that's internal, about wanting to join the unit.
So there's, I guess the first way to handle this is to say there are reports, and I feel like these are uneducated guesses. I shouldn't even call it a report.
I don't. Well, hold on. Are you about to talk about what I think you're about to talk about?
Probably.
God.
Probably so. But apparently there's the story floating around that the end game of this Bloodline storyline is Roman Reigns is like a superhero face. I don't doubt that part, because everything always does have to come full circle. He may not be a heel forever. And I do feel like the Bloodline has unlimited potential if they're all together as faces, because they were literally the most popular thing going on as heels, and even when Sammy was a part of the group. So I feel like if you give them microphones and let them take up 10, 15-minute segments at a time, I feel like they're going to deliver the same way, whether they're heels or faces. So those like break character moments on television and just like genuine laughter and really great storytelling and like Easter eggs and nuances. I feel like you would get that regardless of whether they're heel or face.
If you keep it a whole thou wow, Sami Zayn in the Bloodline,
culture vulture,
getting kicked out of the Bloodline,
culture appropriation,
and winning the tag team championships with Kevin Owens inherently keeps the tag team championship in the Bloodline, because without Sami being in the Bloodline, none of that happens. It all starts with Sami getting in the Bloodline after getting his ass handed to him by Johnny Knoxville. Without that, Sami Zayn is not a tag team champion with Kevin Owens.
What a difference a year makes.
This has been my Fred talk.
But for those of you who don't know what we were talking about before we went on this small tangent, there's a social media post that was made by Roman, something referring to the Bloodline. And a response was posted about someone basically wanting to join and had already said that they were willing to acknowledge their tribal chief. This person being
your tribal chiefness.
Yeah, your tribal chiefness, and he spelled tribal, I think, with an EL at the end.
Yep.
Tribal. But Ron R-Truth Killings has thrown his name into the hat about being a member of the Bloodline. I am 100% for this, because you think Sami had people breaking character on television? R-Truth cracked Brock Lesnar on Monday Night Raw live.
Not once, twice.
Two times, to the point that Lesnar reportedly said, "I like him. I want to work with him." Oh, I hate that Truth got hurt, because like, can you imagine Truth and Cowboy Brock just the conversations that they would have with each other?
Can you imagine Confederate Army sympathizer R-Truth with Cowboy Brock?
Hell no, I don't want that.
I didn't want it when I saw it.
I'm good.
But you know R-Truth would do it again. You know he would.
I know he could. I know he would. I know he would be good at it. The answer's still no.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm out.
Can you make Brock Lesnar shake hands with Little Jimmy?
Possibly.
No. I know. I'm gonna raise you. How long before Brock Lesnar F5's Little Jimmy?
That's too far. You might as well be wrestling a blow-up doll if you're gonna do that. Like, invisible people, like, no.
Don't Kung Fu Kenny him. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, fam. Like, wrestling invisible people and blow-up dolls and children, like, I'm good on that. Just have fun, but
have fun with that. Yeah,
have fun with that. Now, I can definitely see a situation where like Brock would kick the air that Little Jimmy is supposed to be occupying, but like picking up and delivering an F5. Like, why are we taking phantom bumps? What the fuck are we doing?
Flair, we talking to you?
No, Flair's never done it to an invisible person. Now, he's elbow dropped a couple of suit jackets, but like there's just a line. Like, R-Truth is talented enough to have made Little Jimmy work. Same way Al Snow was talented enough to have made
head work.
Pause. But that is a Everybody don't have that. You don't have this.
You don't have this.
Everybody does not
It's an
have that
acquired
ability.
taste.
Is.
These are seasonings that come from the depths of the seas and countries of which you can't even travel to because you're not of that cloth. You don't have this.
Under the sea. I'm saying, like, you can't get these prawns at your local grocery store. You got to have somebody that knows somebody that just pulled them out the water.
Man,
it's part of life.
On the milk carton report, so we got R-Truth, who's still injured but wants to join the Bloodline.
I think that's hilarious.
Did we report that about Braun Strowman? Braun Breaker rather, being injured allegedly. Because we talked about it. We talked about it because I talked about it was like the wrist, the whole wrist situation.
Yeah, you thought it was the wrist. So apparently, if Braun's throwing out challenges, maybe he got a second opinion, and that second opinion worked in his favor, and he's just gonna tape it up and keep going.
So
I don't watch NXT anyway, so then I don't really know what be going on. I just happen to I catch word about it afterwards.
The highlight of NXT by far, feud wise, is Melo versus Breaker, and Breaker lost the last match to Carmelo Hayes, but has been on the internet asking for a challenge of Seth Rollins' newly acquired World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't see this as a problem at all.
I don't see it as a problem to challenge him. Here's the issue. As World Heavyweight Champion of a brand such as Monday Night Raw, you're expected to carry the brand. And sure, Seth can do good business. The problem is right now, we're back on this.
Look, after the ceremony and the pomp and circumstance that's been put on about putting this participation ribbon on Seth Rollins, this is a giant, massive ego stroke. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. Okay, with Braun Breaker doing what he's about to do, it's similar to when Cena was doing his US Open Challenge, and you would get people to come up, and it was almost like a live on-air audition. If this match takes place, we'll see, we'll figure it out. If Braun Breaker goes out and puts on a masterful performance, even in defeat, you have somebody that can handle business. He could possibly the NXT and just ride it out, but at that point, you can put that man in the Royal Rumble and have him win, and nobody's going to feel any type of way about it.
Let's remove any doubt about this match being anything other than defeat for Braun Breaker, because there's no way they're going to have this participation ribbon be handed to the head participator, the MVP.
Not after one defense.
Nah, not at all. And damn good match too, by the way, between him and Damian Priest. Absolutely. The fact that they're trying to strap this rocket to Damian Priest, and they're like,
okay, so tell me why you couldn't do this with the United States Championship. Same premise.
They did it. The problem is they ran out of people. You
didn't run out of people.
Sorry,
you just stopped putting people.
You made the line short as hell. You closed the door when you saw too many people was in the room. And you had access to enough people to do, one match a week. Like, pull some of them people out of catering you ain't been using. You could have, Theory, Lashley, Ali, and I'm doing this off the top of my head. I ain't even pulling up the roster. Ziggler, Drew Gulak ain't doing shit. He can put in literally work. Ain't doing shit.
Facts. Who else is back there? Like, now I need the roster. Hold what you got.
This made me think about something just now.
If you know some, name them.
Well, no, I'm not, because this I'm about to take this somewhere else. We still have Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion on Monday Night Raw. We have Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion on SmackDown.
Corbin.
Both of them if not one of them, is going to lose at Money in the Bank.
Strowman when he came back.
Speaking of Braun Strowman, we announced was out indefinitely with an undisclosed injury.
Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable,
and he came back, and it was notified to the public that he had neck fusion surgery. And earlier today, he announced that he is 15% paralyzed in one of his legs. Speedy recovery to Braun Strowman, and I hope that's just a residual effect that is temporary.
Yeah, hopefully those nerves start to fire, and he's able to get his situation together. Drew McIntyre, even though we haven't seen him in a while.
So, I if I'm not mistaken,
Edge, Elias.
Leave Edge alone.
You can get it, but you can get a TV main event versus Seth Rollins out of this. Is what I'm saying.
What's the
Finn?
Let me see here.
Humberto ain't doing shit. Angel Garza still signed. He ain't doing shit.
Did Drew return? He
Jinder
did.
Mahal.
He did. Drew returned to ICW last week. So the issue, like you and I talked about him being drafted and his contract coming up, and then like right after Mania he disappeared. But he showed up in ICW beginning of last month or towards the middle of last month.
Did he wrestle or did he just show up?
He showed up to speak. I don't think he actually competed.
See, so I mean, he might be on a break and then got, because if he's still under any sort of contract, whether it's on its way to expiring or not, you don't get to do stuff like that without the green light.
True.
You just don't. Until that contract doesn't exist anymore and it's expired, stuff like that doesn't happen on Stanford's watch. So they're in some sort of communication with each other, if for no other reason than to give permission to make this particular pull-up. Carl, you can get a great match out of Carl Anderson. KO.
I think they're focusing on Carl Anderson being in this tag team, which I'm 100% for. If you can give us the Good Brothers that we got in Impact and in AEW.
I get all that. I'm listing off potential matches that man could have had and do the same thing he's doing now, and you could have elevated the United States Championship.
But instead, we have this participation ribbon, and we have a sacrificial lamb for the sake of getting a TV, a bigger TV audience.
It's his litmus test. That's all I'm willing to look at this as. It's Braun Breaker's litmus test, and then it's an opportunity for Seth Rollins to pad his stats.
Also on the injury report, Santana from
Miz.
Stop it! You're literally reading the whole roster.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, this shit ain't rocket science.
What's Santana and Ortiz, the Proud and Powerful.
Santana.
Ooh, Santana.
As far as we know, they're not even on the same page with each other. So
yeah,
unless that's been fixed, I wouldn't put them together.
But I haven't seen Ortiz either.
Ortiz, well, I can't explain that, fam.
Now, it was announced on Dynamite tonight that on Collision, you're going to see a 6-man tag match for the first main event that they're going to have, with FTR and CM Punk taking on Samoa Joe and Switchblade Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Bullet Club Gold.
So you think they're going to put Joe in the Bullet Club?
Nah, I think that's going to end up being like, storyline wise, that's going to be why that team isn't successful, because they tried to recruit him and Joe's not that kind of guy. Did you see
the latest update to the Bullet Club roster as far as like where everybody is?
Yeah. I did.
As diluted as that may be, I really like the idea of being in multiple territories / multiple companies simultaneously with different visions.
Yeah, we've kind of fantasy booked that before. We even thought about like, what if the Bloodline was spread out across, a couple of different promotions, because you have
Which organically
family
they
members.
are. Yeah, organically they are. Jacob Fatu still repping in MLW with his cousins. You have Trinity Fatu and Impact. And of course, we already know about your tribal chief head of the table and WWE Grand Champ. How about that whack ass belt?
And that's what I was like. Seth's belt, now that they've shined it and he's getting to wear it, looks amazingly better. And by comparison to the shit they gave our champ.
Seeing the participation ribbon.
Yeah, one job.
And then you had time to craft this custom singular universal title belt for the Grand Champ. It reminds me of when the pandemic hit and the TNT championship was being crafted, and Cody had the shell of the belt before it was finished.
Right.
That's what Roman has, and that is quite unfortunate.
So, Peep, there have been several fan renders of potential belts that could have been better. Almost all of them were better options. But I saw one, and you've seen it too.
Yeah, you posted a picture. Yeah,
that looks so much better, and it's the exact same belt. It's just the color structure is different. It's an all black strap. There's black diamonds inside of the W, and it's a lot cleaner. It almost looks like it's rose gold. Fire. But
you're right. That render is amazing. Suave, I can't help but I
saw a Cody version of the same belt too, and that was fire.
Yeah, that was dope. I don't want to see that fucking W.
You gonna have to get used to it, homeboy, because you know.
I know.
What's the name of the game?
Branding.
All right, so
advertising.
Every Super Bowl, including this last one, what do you always see? You see people with this particular item before they get a ring. What Patrick Mahomes have on the team bus leaving the stadium?
Belt.
A WWE championship.
Every championship.
Every time there's a World Series.
Before they finally did away with the duplication of the big gold belt, that was the one that everybody was getting, was the big gold belt.
Look, I'm trying to let somebody know the W's not going anywhere, and you know why it's not going anywhere.
It is.
But there are ways to save this design.
Only W I know they ain't going nowhere is this one.
Look, until you get a new Stanford logo, ain't shit changing about that belt. It's too recognizable from, like, regardless of the distance. You can sit in the cheap seats at the top of whatever stadium the Super Bowl is being played in. When that belt gets held up, you know exactly what it is.
Speaking of SmackDown and whack shit, what you think about the new Lacey Evans gimmick?
I'm good on that. I mean, it's gonna work, but I'm still good on it. Because they're coming right out of the Sergeant Slaughter playbook. Now, are you
that's the one.
Are you going to let her be controversial the way Sergeant Slaughter was at his height?
Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan.
Sheiky baby.
No, General Adnan was General Adnan LKC.
I do know who that is. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
Sheiky baby. Yeah,
Sheiky baby.
Bro, you. This last but certainly not least. Did you caught wind of a Wyatt story?
So, of course, this is the source we feel like is shaky.
Fuck that.
That's between us. we us two. We feel like
we've seen enough bad, and by bad I mean untruth.
We've seen enough holes in this block of Swiss cheese to know that, like, you guessing just like we book. You guess like we book. Like we book it to go one way, knowing it probably won't.
Ding,
You're
ding,
just
ding, ding,
guessing.
ding.
Yeah, it's not the same. Ding, ding. It's ding, 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 ding. Not the same. Not the same. Oh, before I do that, okay, this was my idea for Roman's belt. Now, obviously, the Snoop Dogg version that's all gold
All gold.
would have been perfect, even with you could use the green slash underneath, or I would have said, red for the bloodline. However, check this out.
Or red with some black gradient or some shit.
All right, so check this out. Roman has, okay, when Roman first came back, remember he was wearing the black glove.
Yep.
Then he switched to the gold glove.
Yep.
Which made him look a lot like who?
Gold glove?
Thanos.
Yeah, that glove did look bigger because it was gold. Yeah.
So essentially, this whole time collecting championships, he's been collecting infinity
stones. Yeah.
So then, when the bloodline jumped off, he switched to a red one. Totally understood. But now that the bloodline is kind of in flux, and Roman is now a 7-star general, meaning he has main evented 7 WrestleManias. You and I both know people in the armed forces who served. When you're on like the highest level of achievement, what is it that they give you?
A Medal of Honor.
Okay. Get more specific. What is matter of fact, I don't want to mess this up, so I'm gonna do my Googles real quick. Why do
So we're talking about general, like 5-star generals, stripes, medals of honor.
So yes, it is a Medal of Honor, but it's presented to service members who have been wounded as a result of enemy action while serving.
Oh, Purple Heart?
Yes. So this is why you take the same belt, you make the strap purple and the slash underneath the W.
The only problem with that is
this is my Purple Heart. And it also calls back to the gold glove with Thanos.
The only problem with that is purple right now is the color of a particular faction, not on the brand. Now, if you really want to get outside, you can be like, fuck that brand. fuck that faction because they're not on the brand.
But didn't Heyman get into bed with that faction?
Yeah, he did. He did.
So let's just say for the sake of conversation, you chose one of those members out of that faction, and that member of that faction was going to be the one to eventually dethrone Roman, and their championship is already purple. Or just run a storyline where that faction steals that belt until they are given a title match. Now, of course, they can go ahead and lose, but it'll make for a good
quickly
story.
Yes, but you're absolutely that's something that's been missing from WWE and shit like that. Like, let me hold this bitch hostage until you give me what I want, and then you make that person get it back. And who better than the tribal chief and the head of the table, Universal and the WWE Grand Champion?
You see what I'm saying? Especially because you don't have all the members of the bloodline. You have the wise man, Solo, Roman, and say the Judgment Day decides to abscond with the belt until you give one member a title shot.
Wreck Finn and leave.
Period. You can wreck Finn and leave, or if the tribal chief gets to make the choice, he wrecks Dominic.
Dominic would give him a match, though. That's the one thing I don't. That's the one thing I don't like about the whole Dominic situation is that as much heat as he gets, he puts on a damn good match. He should be far more of a chicken shit than he is a good wrestler.
It's in his blood. Bro.
It's in his DNA. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not gonna make him a trash wrestler. It's in his DNA. The gene is gonna activate at some point, and he's gonna be outside live. That's kind of the reason I'm like, okay, on my list of potentials for Money in the Bank, I wouldn't mind seeing Dominic with the briefcase and eventually cashing in on Kung Fu Panda.
very interesting scenario there.
But I definitely would have made the Purple Heart belt for Roman and made that a thing.
But back on to this whole Wyatt shit though.
Facts. So apparently now shaky source, as we've said, but we've come to learn that part of Wyatt's contract to come back to WWE was creative control of his character, which is something nobody gets. So but it's also one of those things. It's a contract that was signed while the chief executive officer was on a sabbatical. Vincent Kennedy probably would have never agreed to that and would have never signed that.
Right.
However,
yeah.
You feel me? So Bray was smart enough to kind of get in while the getting was good. But because he's had that creative control over his character, there were certain things he didn't want to do. He wanted to continue the Uncle Howdy route, and I guess the Wyatt Six and all the things that come with that, where I guess Stanford got to where, like, we don't really like this direction. We want you to bring the Fiend back. He didn't want to do the Fiend anymore. So that's how the WrestleMania match got scrubbed. Well, apparently,
I thought he was also injured too, because he did break a finger at a house show.
Finger didn't keep him off TV
yeah, there you go.
Bro, you put tape on a broken finger and a splint. Shout out to Main Event Jay. So from what we're reading, it's a situation where, and we heard about his one of his hand selected writers got let go. So then that was another issue. So now, after he's apparently taken care of his medical issue and had time to, I guess, figure out his future, they've come to a consensus or a happy medium to where they compromised. And now that they've compromised and they have something that both of them can live with, even though neither one's getting exactly what they want, Bray Wyatt's return to television should be imminent. Don't know if this is true at all, and especially, like we said, because of the source, this shit is
he's soon,
it's a coin flip.
He's soon to be less appreciated than CM Punk if he does show back up on TV.
The bloom is off the rose, and
absolutely.
I've been as much of a fan of him and his type of creativity, but like we passed.
Wait, we
passed giving passes.
Yeah, we off that. Show BrokenPistolBC.com, BrokenPistolBC@gmail.com, at BrokenPistolBC on all things social. That's at BrokenPistolBC on what?
Everything.
Do me a favor, y'all. Look, right here. You see that? Like, share, subscribe, and
rate, review.
Most importantly, because they say subscribe is the most important. I think sharing is because sharing is caring. Sharing is the most important. Share, subscribe, like, and rate.
Join the gang. Join the gang.
Look, the colors, you see. You see all your favorite wrestlers are rocking gang colors these days. You see this,
man. Right? Have you seen the uptick in broken pencil green out here?
Listen, Natty has never worn anything but pink and black. All of a sudden, she wants to use this?
LA Knight on this most recent SmackDown. Yeah, let me talk to you. The Outcast, Samoa Joe. Who else was that at the
Miz? Johnny Tommaso Ciampa before he went out.
No, at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that was here.
Was it it wasn't Colt, was it?
I gotta go back and watch it. But yeah. It's been popping up way more often now. And I'm like, what's up with the popularity behind our colors all of a sudden?
Get down with the get down. Get right or get left. Roll or get rolled over. Like it's simple enough.
You know what it is? It's been a while since we shouted out Stanford's social media team. That's what it is.
Come back home. Come back home, guys. We still here. We ain't did nothing different but just expand and got the video finally on your monk ass.
And you know, shout out to Jacksonville's social media team because you know we know
Jayville soon to be my new second home. You know, y'all gonna see me at Daly's place.
We know.
Suave.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
What that is?
Take him to the highs.
Pencil pushers. Heads up. Pencils down.
And as we take out, once again, this is getting old, but this one is so necessary. 10 bell salute for Sheiky baby. I humble you.